Let us focus on next sutra. Actually, we'll have to revise from 33rd to 39 in order to understand what this particular sutra is talking about. This particular sutra is saying that a yogi who has achieved vaśīkāraḥ. You see, vaśīkāraḥ saññā vairāgyam. Go back to that sutra. That lower vairāgya is being defined. Apara-vairāgya. When we say apara, it is lower in Sanskrit. Okay. So apara-vairāgya is defined. How was that defined? What was apara-vairāgya? Go to that sutra first. Drishyanushravika vishaya vitrushnasya vaśīkāraḥ saññā vairāgyam. This was sutra. Drishya anushravika vishaya vitrushnasya. These are the qualities. What means drishyanushravika? Whatever we have seen in the external world, seen through our imagination. Seen, two types of seen. One, of course, when you open your eyes, you see things. But at the same time, when we close our eyes, we see so many things. Much more than what we see with open eyes. We project so many things which we want to see and don't see. See? And whatever we don't want to see in the outer world, also in effort to not see that we see. Think about it. So if you say, I don't want this. If you say, I don't want this, that means you have to, in your mind, see this in quotes. In order to first negate, you'll have to accept well within your antahkarana. So, thereby, it is said that whatever likes and dislikes, whatever likes and dislikes are, they have to be dropped. That is vaśīkāraḥ. But about what? Drishyanushravika vishaya. What are those things? Primarily, when it is said Drishyanushravika vishaya, primarily it is about whatever we see and whatever we hear. However, it is not limited to that. These are the two primary sense of inputs for human beings which trap us more in this web of world. Whatever we see and whatever we hear. It does not mean that taste doesn't bind us. It does not mean that smell doesn't bind us. It does not mean that we don't have like and dislike for taste. Like and dislike for the smell. Like and dislike for the touch. So these three are secondary. Alright? These three are secondary sensations as far as humans are concerned. Please understand. Two prime sensations are about what we see and what we hear. If you become devoid of these two, both, if you can't see and can't hear, please recognize this. If you can't see and can't hear, by no means you can live a humanly life. By way of just taste, touch, and smell, you can't. Understand? So if you have limitation in these two, it's not possible for any human child to develop to that potential which humanity has to offer. Right? Or else we'll have to somehow augment other three, especially the sense of touch, because the higher three are, the uppermost are what? Touch, sound, and vision. So when we see vision is impaired, we take help of touch. When this auditory sense is impaired, we take help of vision. Right or not? What is a sign language? The same thing. So in order to, you'll have to overcome, or else you cannot live a human life. Right? So blessed are you people who are fully functional. Okay. You are blessed if you are fully functional. However, this comes with a challenge. The more we see, the more we get entangled in the world. The more we hear, the more we become thirsty and desirous of things which probably are not yet in our experience. For example, you may not have seen the heaven, right? Jannat nahi dekhi hogi aap. But suppose somebody comes and describes that this is what it is. And whatever you receive in that place called heaven is available on earth, kind of available on earth, in such and such geography. So you have not seen that, only heard about it. Will you not rush to that place? All those not required Indians actually thought that America or Canada or Europe is going to be heaven. That is why they went there, right or not? Is it not? Compared to hellish India, developing country, this developed country would be heaven. And your all journey has been like that you want to rush towards heaven. You had not seen it till you arrived there. You only heard. Right? At least in those times, when you people migrated, then there was no such audio, video kind of communication. You remember? You had only had imagination about the USA, the other places, the Europe, etc. And you only heard about it. Somebody came and told. Sutra says that Drishyanushravika Vishaya Vitrishnas. Once you have been able to discard these two sensations in a way that they don't stir up your, they don't stir your antahkara, right? They don't create any turbulence in you. In positive sense or negative sense, both. When you are able to do that, completely means this Sutra 40 is defining that. From parama-aṇu to mahat. From the smallest to the biggest. From the tiniest to as much as big it can be. In all the senses. In terms of utility, in terms of quality, in terms of size, in terms of its aesthetics, in terms of its another kind of beauty, in any way. Smallest, that means things which you don't want. Do you want anything small? Only one thing. You don't want pain and suffering. That only is small. Even that has to be discarded. Because that is also Vishaya or subject matter of these sensations. Please understand. When you say, I don't want this, I don't want suffering, you come to a yoga guru. You say, I don't want suffering. He said, you have to get rid of this don't want. That is Vaśīkāraḥ Sangya. Look at it. Look at the dichotomy of it. Look at the paradox. The paradox is, you say, I don't want suffering. He says, this want has to go. Why? Because you want this over that simply means raga dvesha. It's not rooted in vidya. You want to run away from suffering, you want to enjoy. Right? So from not pleasurable to pleasurable. They say, okay, in the beginning you may try so. And therefore another sutra in the beginning told you that you have to first move from klishta vrittis to aklishta vrittis. Just to begin. Right? Vrittaya panchataya, klishta aklishta. So you have to move from klishta vrittis, means the one which you don't like, which are kind of hindrance in your peace, which are kind of disturbances, which create unease, which give you a sensation of unhappiness, that you can turn into or transmute into good ones. That's freedom is given in the beginning. However, vaśīkāraḥ sangya, vairāgya. Vaśīkāraḥ sangya, vairāgya means the vairāgya of this type is known as vaśīkāraḥ vairāgya. Vaśīkāraḥ sangya means what is noun? Noun is the name of place, person, or thing. Right? That is sangya. So there, vaśīkāraḥ is a sangya. What is the sangya for this? This type of vairāgya, he says vaśīkāraḥ. It is referred to as by the name vaśīkāraḥ vairāgya. Okay? So vairāgya becomes vaśīkāraḥ vairāgya. The name to that kind of vairāgya, where you have developed complete dispassion towards likes and dislikes, right from atom to the biggest. Right? No interest left. No interest left. Is it so? But you see, despite having no interest in the world, a yogi has to remain happy. That's the problem. We have to have a joyous disposition. Correct or not? How can you be like that? Unless until you discover something well within yourself which is a source of joy for you. Is it not? Is it not? If you have completely discarded the world and you're saying, I have arrived at vaśīkāraḥ vairāgya, which means the world cannot make you happy. At the same time, world cannot make you unhappy. Correct? Is it not? How do you become happy? You become happy when you desire a particular event to happen in a particular way, when your desires are fulfilled in a straight line, in a one sentence. When your desires, your aspirations, your expectations get fulfilled, you become happy. And when it is not so, you are unhappy. Correct? And dispassionate person will not be happy because he's dispassionate. He has no likes as well as he doesn't have any dislike. Correct? So when you transcend the likes and dislike, you arrive at a particular tonality of your chittam, of your being, which is now stabilized in Vairāgya. This Vairāgya is forced Vairāgya. Forced Vairāgya. Vaśīkāraḥ itself gives the understanding, the name Vaśīkāraḥ. That means as if you have somehow imposed yourself, the Vairāgya has been imposed upon you by yourself. Vash means what? To take charge, to take control of. That means you have taken control of your chittam. Simply, it should mean that you have taken control of your desires, expectations, likes and dislikes. Understand? If you have been able to do so, if you are able to control that, then only this state of being of your chittam can be arrived at. And that is a tough job. You don't know how to do it, right? So many things were taught in the beginning. You have gone through all the sutras, in whatever tutti-frutti language. Patanjali has given a long list of things which you can do to arrive at this state of chittam, which is vaśīkāraḥ. And especially so, it has been further augmented from Sutra 33rd to 39th. Okay? Pehle 33 pado.
Maitrī Karuṇā Muditō Upekṣāṇam Sukha Dukkha Punya Punya Vishayanam Bhavanātah Chitta Prasadanam.
Dekho. Now he says, first method. What is that? Maitrī Karuṇā Muditā Upekṣā. He says you can't directly arrive at the so-called joyous disposition without taking interest, so-called creating dispassion, which means not taking interest in the world. You can't arrive directly because you don't know how to do it. So he says, Maitrī Karuṇā Muditā Upekṣā Punya Punya Vishayanam. This is how the Chitta Prasadanam, your Chitta becomes joyous. How it becomes joyous? Please understand that. First thing, Maitrī, towards whom? Those who have the resources. Because he is capable, so I don't have any envy towards that. Right? What mostly happens? All billionaires, they can't become billionaire without cheating, you see. They must have done fraud. See? He is a fraud. How can somebody? For sure he must have, bribed somebody, flouted the laws. He would not have worked according to dharma. Or else in this little time, how can somebody become so rich? Filthy rich. How? It's not possible. Right or not? The moment we come across somebody who is at a very good position, we start having contempt for it. Right? And contempt means what? You have a kind of animosity towards that person. Kyo bhai? We vote all the netas and leaders to power. Right? And we hate everybody who is in power. Think about it. When power, we are giving the power. And when they actually start enjoying that power, we hate it. Why so? Because we are not happy seeing anybody affluent in terms of power, fame, money, honey, whatever. Correct? We are not okay. Patanjali says, take this. Follow this principle. Maitrī. Maitrī for anybody who is affluent enough, and whether he is enjoying or not, whether he is enjoying or suffering, you should not bother, but you should feel happy for that person. Because you can be happy only for your friends. You can't be happy for your enemies. If your enemy gets more, will you be happy? If your enemy gets rewarded, will you be happy or not? But in today's world, I think you will not be happy even if your friends get it. That means the friendship does not exist in this modern time. Please understand that. Some people are misplaced in this understanding and they keep on doing good things to others only to realize later that that cannot come back. That was a bad barter, right? Because nobody is living that spirit of friendship. But anyways, if you want to go to the path of yoga, whether they do it or not, you have to do it. Means it does not mean that if somebody is progressing, somebody is having all that, go and start trying to go there and try to shake hands and I'm your friend. No, that's not. You keep it in your heart. Keep only it in your, that is spirit, that attitude of friendship is only to be kept inside your mind. That is an attitude. It does not mean real friendship. It means only the bhava, the emotion, the demeanor, which is internal to you of friendship for those, right? Karuna. If somebody doesn't have it, somebody is suffering, somebody is in problem, somebody is not affluent, somebody is begging, somebody is in devastated state, financially, emotionally, in many ways, you know what all matters to you, matters to everyone. Do you know that this person is not in good shape? What should you do? Sometimes people become happy. बड़ी बड़ी बात करता था, अब पता चला होगा आटे दाल का भाव. He was very egoistic. He said, this is how the life is lived. Now the life is teaching him lesson. I am very happy. Don't you do? Sometimes people do. You might not be doing. You may be doing it very subtly. Maybe. Who knows? Just think about it. Enemies, if you have been carrying that even an iota of animosity or contempt towards someone who was enjoying a good position, good fortune, good success, if he suffers, somewhere you become very happy. Satisfied at least. Oh, good. Good. Is it not? This is how we are. Patanjali says, no, you can't do that. You see? You can't do that. If you really want to work on Vairāgya, you have to have Karuṇā for such people. Irrespective of what they did in the past. The memory should not bother you. The current state about which you are, the subject matter of your response and reaction, what should be our response? Karuṇā. Right? And Karuṇā does not mean that we have 20 rupees in our bank account and we want to lend 21. That does not mean so. That also is not, Patanjali is not asking you to go and help. See, in Patanjali Yoga Sutra, there is nothing called dana, only a stay, non-stealing. Dana he is not encouraging. But anyways, if you are affluent enough, if you want to, out of Karuṇā, see, as much as you can help, it's okay, you can. No problem there. However, that Patanjali is not advising only for our benefit. He knows how people behave. If they 1 penny, they feel first of all pride of it. That means their ego becomes solidified. And another is that they start expecting that at least the person will say thank you. That is again loaded with expectation. He said, don't get into the action part. Only fill yourself with karma. I'm not saying you should not help anybody. I'm saying that even when you help, you should not expect even a smile in return. You understand that? And you should be okay with it. You do your part and don't expect a smile in return. If you are following the path of yoga, I'm telling you. But then discrimination has to be applied everywhere. You understand? Why? Because the rider is later given. Papa punya vishayana. You see? Person who is suffering because of his papa, bad karma, you drop it. And if person is enjoying because of punya karma, you drop it. Dropping will be different in both the cases, right? When somebody is enjoying, you will say Maitrī. When somebody is suffering, you'll say Karuṇā. But do you need to engage yourself? No. That is what Patanjali suggests. Patanjali does not believe in you becoming a philanthropist. He says work on yourself first. Once the Vidya will prevail, you will be the most noble person under the sun. Only your presence will heal people. Only you desiring something for somebody will get fulfilled. All right. That is what Ashirvad, that is what blessings, and that is what the kripa or grace of teachers, masters, great men have been. He says, yeah, intermediately you need not. But for God's sake, don't take it as the rule for behavior. Why? Because I'm sure you're not going to attain that state of saintliness, like becoming a great yogi within your lifetime and doing all good, because of your blessings, the world will flourish as if. So please continue with that help, whatever you do. But always keep this in mind that if I'm helping, it is for my own good karma. Nothing more than that. A person gives me a smile or even abuses, I'm okay with. Understand? I'm okay with that. If you have developed that kind of temperament, then Karuṇā, along with action, works for you, for good, right? Because ultimately we all are subject to the karma only. So creating good karma is it has not been completely abundant in this. However, that is hidden in a way which is not going to become a deterrent in your spiritual progress, right? So you do all good karma, but never expect anything in return. Anything in return. Even the opposite is okay. Please understand. Sometimes, I'll have to give this example, only then you probably will understand. It is said that nowadays you see in many places in the world are flooded. So many places, you see, so many floods are happening here and there. It is said that there was some flood and a saint was being ferried on a boat. And he saw one scorpion struggling in the water. You see? Because scorpions live in dry places. They can't live in water. Right? Water scorpions are different. He was struggling for life in the water. And the saint tried to pick it up. Right? And it gave us a stun. And because of that, his hand, of course, shook and it fell back. He again lifted. And 4 or 5 times he did, then people around him asking, come on, Babaji, why are you doing this? Why are you doing? He's stinging you every time. Then Baba says, he is animal. He is not dropping his own nature of stinging. I am human. Should I drop my nature of Karuṇā? You understood now? So that much, if you have, that much capacity, if you have, then go ahead and help. Understood? Should be ready for that. If you help, many a time people say, no, I don't want. But they need, that they need. Out of their ego, they are saying that they don't need. Sometimes that also comes. Has it not come in your life? Many a time you must have faced such situations where you wanted to help and you want to offer that help, but the other person is not taking. Then you should, irrespective of what their response is. However, you should not get the sense of accomplishment at the end. Dekho kar liya. Because that is again going to be deterrent to your. That will not help in sublimation of your ego. Yes or no? So therefore, Karuṇā is a subject for every individual to take a call. How much good work you can do without expecting anything in return. But that is not a condition for creating the environment of Karuṇā within. You will have Karuṇā for every place, for every person who is in distress, suffering, or suffers a lack in his life. Understand? That's Karuṇā for such people. Then Muditā and Upekṣā. Muditā is about if you see somebody doing good, you should not try to find fault there. Just be happy. Right? Don't try to overanalyze for your own sake. This person does bhandara every 15 days, feeds thousands of people. Must be corrupt money, black money. Not happy. How can he do it? I feed only, 4 kabutars in my home, and I am not able to feed anybody extra. How this person is feeding 20 people, 40 people, 200 people? You become envious, and I don't like it. Somewhere you don't like it, and you start out of that contempt, out of that jealousy. You are not being able to come to that state of happiness. Patanjali says, whenever somebody is doing good, you should feel good. You should feel happy. Maitrī, happy. Karuṇā does not mean pity here. Karuṇā means wishing well and staying in your composure. Please understand, Karuṇā is not pity. Karuṇā is not suffering along with that person. Karuṇā is sending out your good wishes, whatever you can do, and if you cannot do, then you should just pray. That's Karuṇā. That recognition. And when you pray for somebody's good, you feel inner joy in it. Just like that. Right? So, first time when you adopt Maitrī, it is going to give you joy. If you adopt Karuṇā, it is going to give you joy. Muditā itself is joy. Then comes Upekṣā. If something doesn't fit your kind of morality, your kind of expectation, rules are being flouted, people are not behaving the way they should, they are not obeying the rules, they are corrupt, they are harming others, what should you do? Upekṣā. As if you have not seen it. You have seen it, but as if you have not seen it. Don't dwell into it. And I can tell you, if you're a regular audience to the news being catered to you, which means it's all about that. News means what? News means this one. Somebody has done bad, and that is being elaborately displayed, discussed, talked about, debated, analyzed, and whatnot. Are we not giving too much space to this negativity, which should we just omit? That's what. So that is also giving a joyous disposition. So look at these 4 tools Patanjali offers in 33rd Sutra. He says, this is the way you should live. This is the way you should interact with the world. Right? This should be your inner response to the world. Right? And once you adopt this kind of these strategies, you will be able to become happy. See, action-oriented, right? From action-oriented, because you are actually taking some action. Is it not? You are taking some action. Earlier you were feeling envious. Now you try and you convince yourself that it is not right on my part, because how am I going to, how that is helping me? You convince yourself, applying right kind of logic, applying right kind of vidya. And then later on, as you adopt that particular disposition of Maitrī, Karuṇā, Muditā, Upekṣā, then actually you have worked internally upon yourself, So action-oriented, some action is happening, which is internal. Nobody will see it, but you know you have worked a lot, right, for that. So from action-oriented, actionables, that means actionables are given, where you are interacting with the world and a lot of things have to be done internally by you. When you are happy in all the states, will you be able to have any dislike for anybody now? No. For good people, you're happy. For bad people, you do upekṣā and you keep your happiness intact. For the things which are loaded with suffering, you develop Karuṇā, and when you pray, you feel satisfied, content, and joyous about that. Just like that, in every situation, you are happy. And if you're just happy, how can you develop the opposite of that? Because always happy means liking will also not be there. Do you like somebody being this? No, you don't like. You just be happy. Without liking, you can be happy. If somebody is doing good, you just be happy. Whether you like it or not, he's prosperous, he's generous. Yes or no? Do you like it? No. Do you dislike somebody being in distress? Even if like or dislike, doesn't matter. The person is in distress. So for that, you show Karuṇā. So liking and disliking are being dealt with. When you are, and when people are not obeying rules, they are doing all sort of negative things, you like or dislike. It is so. That is how you can ignore. Yes or no? Liking doesn't make them not do it. Do it more, and disliking doesn't make them not do it. Right or not? Yes or no? So like and dislike are being worked on. Please understand. And when we are working on like and dislike alike, we are approaching towards vaśīkāraḥ Vairāgya.
Sorry, I had one question regarding the previous sutra also. This natural thing that you mentioned that comes, that at times is so natural in us, like somebody is progressing, we feel little bit of a jealousy and we start talking like isne to corruption hi kiya hoga.
No. Sorry. It's not natural. It's not natural.
So that my question is, how does that develop? Because I don't think kids have it, right? So at what stage do we just watch people and learn it as we grow?
Modern kids have it. Earlier kids didn't have it. I'm sure you did not have it. You did not have it in your childhood, for sure. Ask your dad, he would not have it. Most of kids did not have it. It's only sanskara. Okay? It's only repeated impressions which are falling upon us. All right? It's not natural. It has become natural because we have imprinted our chitta with so many sanskaras, right? And kids start learning right from their time of conception. Okay. So they have learnt it from you. If you have it, even iota of it, you have learned it from your parents, and not just to blame your parents in this life, but your exposure of that particular life which you have lived, or lives which you have lived, and the parents which you have had. So sanskaras play a role. You can't say it's natural. It's not natural. It's not natural. I'll tell you. I did discuss about it. Somewhere I did discuss. And I just give you a passing remark that if you were trained to dance and, sing and celebrate, if somebody dies, you will do that. And if you're trained to cry and show that displeasure if somebody is born, you'll do that. It's only in sanskaras, right? I told you that, and I knew that is possible, but I was validated very recently. There is a tribe. There is tribe in Telangana, current Telangana, earlier Andhra Pradesh, which has this. Somebody is born, they create mayhem. They put the child on the street and they all cry and, all sort of despair they show. And when somebody dies, they dance. It's only in sanskara. You thought that death was something which to be brooded, you should be brooding about. No, it's not. Anything you are doing in this world is just because of sanskara. Right? So don't say it is natural, it is only because of our sanskara. What am I saying? I am saying it's not natural. It's cultivated. It's cultivated. Everything, every response of ours is cultivated. We admire something in one society while we condemn the same act in another society. Cultivate. Please understand. So there is nothing which is absolutely right or wrong. Wherever you are, you have to be, you will be driven by that. So Patanjali is giving a baseline. Baseline. In your society, if that is considered to be being wealthy, you should develop Maitrī. No problem. Right? Is it not? In northeastern states, there are tribes. Their wealth is, is estimated. Their social stature, their wealth, their influence, their position in society is measured by how many wives they have. Okay, in northeast there are certain tribes, and there you can go and find out the biggest family in India. You'll find that one guy has more than 100 wives. Okay, and he has almost a full. Then anybody can say, no, this is not good. But in that society is good. So if you belong to that kind of a society, if somebody has it, you can only have Maitrī. The response, natural response for you should be Maitrī. Understand? So I'm just telling you, wherever you are, whatever your circumstances or sanskaras are, right? You have to develop that attitude which is rooted in peace and joy, right? This is a way of handling with the society, whatever society you live in, whatever the parameters be. All right, coming back to next sutra, 34th.
Acharya-vidaranabhyam va pranasya.
When you start working on something at a subtle level, which means, you see, working at subtle level means you get some inputs, which are of course tangible inputs. You see, hear, taste, touch, and smell. All that happens, and you get to some information. That information is processed in your mind using your intellect, and the responses which are created are based on the matrix of your understanding of the subject, and of course sanskaras and vasanas that you have already been harboring. Based on that, the response to any event or stimulus happens. It may be like, it may be dislike, it may stir jealousy, it may stir anything. That's the response we have. Correct now? So please understand. And suppose you want to change it. How do you change it? By changing your understanding and then applying that understanding by reaffirming and reapplying and reapplying and reapplying. Correct? So this is a subtle way of dealing with it. Thoughts against thought. That means vidya against avidya. Right knowledge against the previous wrong knowledge. Right? Both are knowledge. And they are very subtle. Right? I can't measure how much knowledge you have. Can you? Can anybody measure how much knowledge anybody has? Because it's a subtle thing. Right? It's a subtle thing. Right? Not having any framework, not having any positive framework, you will not be able to arrive at these Maitrī, Karuṇā, Upekṣā. Somebody is telling you, you take that as actionable upon you. You make that choice, right? Stabilize that knowledge in your head, and then your intellect guides you. So intellect works on the information. Earlier programming of your intellect was such that you were generally creating, a kind of negativity, negative experiences. Aklishta vrittis were not dominant. The klishta vrittis were dominant upon certain information coming to you in your antahkarana. Now, by applying vidya, it is okay. Is it not? For example, somebody's adult boy who is 30 plus starts smoking. And as a parent, parents are always parents. They never grow. Okay. They never grow. Child's grow, the child grows. Children grow. They become 70, 80. Parents remain parent. They never grow. So suppose he starts smoking, he starts doing things which are not fitting that understanding of theirs, expectation of theirs, they will become unhappy. Why? And then later on somebody tells the bhai, pareshan mat ho. They are now adults. You can't decide for them what they do in their life. Please understand this. This is just a statement. And this just a statement thing becomes an understanding for you, and it becomes a wisdom for you. And then the same thing, will it bother again? No, and say, okay, that's all right. There are so many people who do it. At any stage of life, you can stoop low in any of the actions. What can I do? Nothing. It's okay. Right or not? So, because they are adult, they are master out and in charge of their own lives. What can we do? It's not a helplessness driven emotion. It should be rather a response rooted in wisdom. Right? That any adult makes a choice based on his or her understanding. We are not the masters and the owner of that intellect. Right? So this is what, if you understand, that is Vidya, if Vidya prevails, nothing will bother you. So please understand. This is a subtle application. Subtle. Wisdom is subtle and foolishness is subtle. Both are subtle things. You replace foolishness by wisdom and apply wisdom and then create a joyous disposition within. This is happening in the 33rd Sutra. However, in the next one, something more tangible, more gross is being given as a method. They say, okay, I try to think like that, but I am not able to, Acharya ji. How can I be happy and joyous when my son is doing that, my daughter is doing that? But Acharya ji, I fail. I can't apply this understanding. I say, nahi, apply nahi kar pa rahe, you are not able to apply. Okay, sit down. Do pranayam. Something is shaking you up. Do this kind of pranayam. And pranayam is defined here. Prachardana vidhara. Okay? Take a deep breath. Hold. Hold till you die. This pranayam. Right? So your matter of death and life will be more important than your son's problem, right or not? This pranayam. Do it. But you say, why should I do it? Don't do it. It's your choice. Continue to remain in that state of negativity, stress. What yoga is giving? Take charge of your own chitta. You're not responsible for anybody's unhappiness or happiness. Rather, if somebody is happy, suffering, doing good, doing bad, the technique is given in the 33rd. Right? But if you're not able to apply that, do that pranayama. Take a deep breath. Don't leave till you drop dead. I'll give you one example. I'm not saying that this is the real technique, but Prachardan Vidharanam is the technique which is taught. Right? This is dealing with something more gross, right? Which you do from at the level of breath. It's not only the application of wisdom here, which you have accumulated by pravachans and discourses and reading books and listening to the learned one, right? Having all the data or Google Baba. It does not help. If it doesn't help, do pranayam. What is pranayam? Pranayam name is Prachardan or Vidharana. They are a special pranayam. Right? They will be given to you only by those who are the yoga teachers, and though it will be given only to those who are really interested in in taking yoga as their tool. We are not. We are not giving you yoga as a tool to transform your life. So we are not going to give you. However, just like that, I'm telling you an example. I'm trying to prove how this breathing or control on breath or holding or stopping or breathing fast or breathing slow helps. If it creates a distress in your physical system, in your pranic system, let's say, the pain or distress or alignment which happens at the pranic level is kind of changing the tonality of your mind. You all know that the flow of prana so dominantly affects our vrittis, or the way our mind moves, right? Is it not? Flow of prana. Breathe normally, breathe deeply. You'll find that you are getting less disturbed. So there are techniques. Pratyardhan-vidharana are the advanced techniques like that. He says, if you do these two, it will create a different kind of tonality in your system of prana, energy. It will be overwhelmingly, take your attention, acquire your attention, or create a normalcy, which will impact your vrittis in mind, and you will not be bothered about that particular thing which were bothering you. Right? This is a technique. Now, I have a simple anecdote here to share. And you must have heard, those who read comics and all, they know there was a character, Dr. Jhatka. Suppose Dr. Jhatka is there, sitting there, and somebody comes and I have a bad headache, a very bad headache. Please help me. I have taken 10 tablets of aspirin. It is not helping. It's okay, sit down there. And what he does? He says, lie down on the bed, and then he takes a hammer and hits so hard in the leg, in the feet, that it breaks. Okay. So much pain. Shooting pain. And then he is not stopping there. He says, and then he'll ask, Sar dard kaisa hai? How are you feeling in your head? Are sar dard ka chodo, pair ka attend karo. Which means what? Your attention can be drawn to anything based on the distress that creates. The pranayams can work in both ways. By the calming down effect also, which should be overwhelming, of course, it should be of very high intensity. Or, as I said, take the breathe in, and don't leave it till you die. If you follow this instruction, can you focus on the problem of your son now? You are suffering here. Your life is at stake. You are not going to take the next breath. You have decided to die. You have decided not to take the second breath till you die. Will you not become completely absorbed in this action rather than that? Just like that, I'm telling you. So the pratyardhan, vidharana, etc. are the ways to create that kind of pranic distress or calming, which is both are there, so that the prana associated feelings, associated signals become so dominant that you are naturally, you drop it, or those are colored by this. So calming or creating distress, both can help you, is it not? Have you not applied this technique while dealing with kids? Either you make kid is whining and asking for something, you say, no. If I give you that, oh, Baba aa jayega. He will take you away. So Baba is now a bigger problem. It's a negative thing, but you have used it. So this is how our mind works. Creating another contrasting or completely divergent kind of situation. Patanjali says, if those things you are not able to apply, in the first place, you should try, But if whatever residues are there, you're not able to deal with, even after applying your renewed understanding, get to pranayama, get to deep breathing, prachardan vidharan, calm yourself down, work on your prana, it will help. And you'll again regain your calm, regain your joy. See, we are all working for Vairāgya, please understand. Has it not created the kind of dispassion towards whatever you were passionate about earlier? So passionate about the problem, solving the problem of your son's son, or daughter's daughter. But now you're focused on something else. It has completely changed the trajectory of your thought. You have become dispassionate about it. So even if it is kind of forced, is it not forced thing? It's a forced action. And that is why this Vairāgya is known as vaśīkāraḥ. You work for it. It is not the outcome, it is not flowering out of blue here. We have to work for it. Right? All right. Next.
विषयवती वा प्रवृत्तिः उत्पन्ना मनसः स्थिति निबन्धनी.
This I have explained in detail, and I have told you create some meditation points in your body. You try to focus there, and you start feeling something more subtle, more joyous, more enjoyable, right? And your mind gets trapped in that. For example, how many of you are a compulsive shopper when you are stressed? How many of you? How you are a compulsive walker when you are stressed? How many of you are compulsive talkers when you are stressed? What are you doing? Exactly the same thing. You take away your mind from that particular thing and put although it is not a good way. Why? Because it is going to create more vrittis. Patanjali is talking about chitta vritti nirodha. So these methods work for the ordinary subject. They don't help. Patanjali says we use it, and Acharya ji also saying we are already using it. Let us continue. No. Sorry. Because you have to choose a subject which is able to ensure that you don't create subsidiary problems there. You see? No cascading effect has to come. Right? No cascading effect. Prachardan vidharan takes your attention away. When you say, I'm going to focus on certain other subjects, these subjects are mostly internal locuses well within your body. You are not dependent on anything. And the joy is yours only. You can't share it with anybody. So that way you are actually excluding the world. You are making the world defunct in that. It is not playing any role in your joy. Suppose you breathe calm and quiet, very deep breathing you get engaged in. After that, you focus your attention on your Ishta Devata, just like that. And you start feeling good. That's it. Now what have you done? You have made the world disappear for you. And it is not going to create any further repercussion. For example, when you go for shopping, so many vrittis come, like and dislike and everything. So when you're doing Ishta Devata Dhyanam or just Manas Puja, let's say, you are engaged in that. It is not going to create any subsidiary or any cascading effect on you. No other vrittis except the one. So that way you are reducing your vrittis and so on and so forth. So this particular sutra says, wherever that mind gets trapped, those kind of activities have already been suggested. Points in your body, etc., are already being talked about by great rishis. Focus on them, develop some divine sensations, etc., and you will find yourself in joy. Without world being the cause of it, without your likes and dislikes being there. So this is the next sutra. This is also leading to Vairāgya. Again, you see, Initially, Vairāgya does not mean that you will become Vairāgi for everything. You will have a raga for your practice. You will have a raga for yamas. You will have raga for your niyamas. You will have raga for pranayama. You will have raga for your stable posture. All those ragas you will have. That does not mean that this vaśīkāraḥ Vairāgya, right in the beginning, will free you from all your sankalpas and liking, etc. No. It will only try to reduce that circle. So initially, you have to just start reducing. You go on reducing. This is what Patanjali is saying. Earlier, you were dealing with klishta, aklishta both. Now he says, create and deal with only aklishta. Right? And this means that polar opposite doesn't exist there, which means we are very close to Vairāgya. Bolo bhai. If there is only sukha in this world, there is no dukkha, you're already in Vairāgya. This is Vairāgya only. For example, I'll tell you. Currently, you have Vairāgya, dispassion for your breathing, because it is given. It is just there. You don't have any problem with it. It is giving you only sukha. But suppose you start getting problem in breathing occasionally. Now your breathing will become a subject of like and dislike, pain and so-called associated pleasure, joy and suffering. Yes or no? And you'll always be thinking about it. Yes or no? In the same way, if life offers only joys and joys and joys, there are no pains, there are no suffering, which means we are dispassionate. We will. And suppose life becomes only suffering and suffering and suffering, and everybody suffers. You see? Hardly people will be there who will think that there is another possibility of you never experienced any joy in life. And you see nobody having any joy in life, let's say. Everybody is suffering. When everybody suffers, you have no problem. Everybody's problem is nobody's problem. Right? Understand? Again, Vairāgya. So both extremes can lead to Vairāgya. Here Patanjali says the other one is quite difficult one to carry. It will only dissipate you over time. So better you develop good vrittis, aklishta vrittis in your chittam, and then you will be closer to Vairāgya. Right? Tokava Jyotismati was also another higher meditation. You remember that? Vishokava Jyotishmati was another higher meditation which was given, that you can engage such a meditation which is primarily, Vishoka means there is no shoka. Shoka means sorrow. There is no sorrow, which means joy itself. Contemplate on the nature of joy itself. And Jyotishmati, contemplate on the nature of knowledge itself. This is a higher meditation. Jyotishmati. What do we say? Prakasha, the light. Light is something which reveals things, which lets us know about the world. Is it not? Light means what? Light is that. So we can contemplate on the nature of knowledge itself. What knowledge is. Just like that. Think what knowledge is. Think what the power of knowing is. This is Jyotishmati. I'm not saying that's the exact meditation. However, it's along the same lines. Right? That meditation will help. They are subtler meditation than the previous meditations of where the mana sthiti nibandhani meditations happen previously. They are rooted in vishayas which are 5. Right? 5 vishayas. Rupa, rasa, gandha, shabda, sparsha. Okay. So divine smell, divine form, divine lights, divine sound, all that. Right? Divine taste, all those things you create in the previous one, and the subtler and higher meditations you can engage in, which is Vishokava Jyotishmati. Then the next would be
Vitarāga Vishayam Vachittam.
Vairāgya. Yeah, there was this one also where you said that if nothing works, find out some personality which you revere, which you respect, which you think is a tyagi, is a mahatma, is a great person. It may be a real person, it may be an imaginary person like Babaji also. But you just focus on that. So Babaji, when I say, you should know that I'm talking about Kriya Yoga Babaji. Okay. So it may be someone like Babaji, you create in your head and you just imagine about that. You contemplate on those good qualities and you feel really nice. Have you seen God? And when you stand in front of that, even if mentally you create, how do you feel? You feel good. This is how it is. So focus on something, some divine object, some divine personality, and feel great. And then comes yathabhimat dhyanatva. Okay. Is it then as per other traditions and what's per your own traditions, as per traditions, as per instruction given by your teacher, yathabhimat. Not just like that you pick up any object and you think of. So he says, by doing all this, you develop what? It is now told in 40th Sutra. That by doing this, you develop Vairāgya. From the tiniest of the things to the most important ones. Right? From the smallest to the largest, to the biggest. Right? From parama-aṇu, understand parama-aṇu? You are dispassionate about an atomic particle. Right? You can't say, I love electrons. And you can't say, I hate or I love supernovas because they give birth to new stars. Nothing. No. From tiniest to biggest. I'm just talking about the certain attitude. From the tiniest of the things means that I don't hate ugliness and I don't like beauty. This is also from tiniest to that, on that scale. Yes or no? Zero beauty is ugliness for you. Highest beauty is probably your passion, is it not? So I'm not passionate about anything. And I'm not stirred by anything which is not up to the mark, which means tiniest. Very, very, very low. So dishonesty doesn't disturb me and honesty doesn't please me. Just think about it. How great a person would be and what kind of a person that would be. And that simply means I do recognize what dishonesty is and I do understand what honesty is. He has not lost his senses, don't think, इनको तो पता ही नहीं चलेगा कि खिड़की और दरवाजे में अंतर क्या है. No. I know what dishonesty is and I know what utter honesty is, but I am not the one who dislikes it or I'm not the one who's passionate about it. Both are okay. I accept both. Right? I love that son also, that son who disobeys me. I'm okay with that. And that son also who obeys me, who serves me, and the one who abuses me. No problem. I'm okay with everything. I'm not passionate about this. I'm not disturbed by this. This is the kind of person he is. Now think about all your relationships and then come to this state that I'm okay in everything, with everyone, in every state. This is vaśīkāraḥ Vairāgya. Understand? And this is upper Vairāgya. Upper again, not English wala, Hindi wala, which is lower Vairāgya. Okay? Of yoga. This is what he achieves. Now, as much as we work through this, these guidelines, whatever have been given, whatever is adoptable to us, at least I told you that don't work on anything. Start working on Maitrī, Karuṇā, Muditā, Upekṣā, that you can work. You don't know what Vichardhan Vidharan is. Okay, no problem. You don't know what Vishayavati, Manasthiti, Bandhani, etc. is. Don't. Vishokava, Jyotishmati. You don't know, no problem. At least this much you know. You start your journey from the things you know. Don't you know what Maitrī is? Don't you know what Karuṇā is? Don't you know what Muditā is? Don't you know what Upekṣā is? Start working there. So, at least take that as actionable upon you, that this is how I should manage my inner environment. If I live my life by these principles over the period of time, I'll commit mistakes, I'll fall back, I will falter, I will go on to my lows also, but I have my eyes on this, that I want to accomplish this. Repeatedly I will remind myself, भाई किसी को देख के जलो मत, किसी को देख के भूलो मत, किसी की सक्सेस से नेगेटिवली इम्पैक्ट मत हो, किसी के दुख में सेलिब्रेट मत करो. Don't celebrate anybody's suffering. Don't feel contentment when anybody is in pain. Whatever he has done, whatever, because Sutra 40 does not require any explanation. It's only telling you the result of all the previous sutras, how Vairāgya is attained. Because Patanjali in the beginning had told that if Chittavritti Nirodha has to happen, it will happen by Abhyasa Vairāgya. What is our beginning point of our journey? He says Abhyasa. And what is the journey's end? Vairāgya. What is to be done as Abhyasa? Now he is saying so many things in Abhyasa. Maitrī, Karuṇā, Muditā, Upekṣā is also Abhyasa. Pranava Japa is also Abhyasa. Ishwar Pranidhān is also Abhyasa. Right? Prachardana Vidharan is also Abhyasa. Every Abhyasa is leading to Vairāgya. Begin your journey from Abhyasa, it will culminate in Vairāgya, and this couple, why it has to be couple? Because the day you drop Abhyasa, Vairāgya will become weak. This is why he says, Abhyasa of Vairāgya will also continue. Whatever little Vairāgya you have developed, continue to apply that Vairāgya in your Abhyasa. That is to say that in morning you contemplated a lot and you developed some Vairāgya in your family, and in the evening you thought enough is enough, let me again go and hug everybody and give them a good understanding that I still need them. So whatever Vairāgya you developed in your contemplation, you did not put it into practice. Understand? So Abhyasa leads to Vairāgya. That Vairāgya needs to be applied in Abhyasa, and then so on and so forth. This spiral will get to that maximum, that critical, that threshold which is needed for us to move to that second level, transcendental level. I'll tell you, even when you will achieve vaśīkāraḥ Vairāgya, it does not mean you have Vairāgya for everything. That has already been defined. There is another Vairāgya, which is para-Vairāgya. But that para-Vairāgya is ultimate. Ultimate. And it is achieved only when that critical mass is always available with us. Right? To be able to be seated at a particular level of para-Vairāgya. That is why Abhyasa Vairāgya is not a thing which after achieving para-Vairāgya you'll say, no, a para-Vairāgya I have attained and no Abhyasa is needed. So yogi is the one who is constantly engaged in Abhyasa throughout his life. He cannot relax, Baba. He cannot relax. For him or for her, it's constant Abhyas. I'll give an example. What is para-Vairāgya? We can't put it in words. But what is vaśīkāraḥ Vairāgya? I'll just describe. Vishwamitra and Vasishtha are contemporary. Vishwamitra was born Kshatriya in the lineage of kings. Vasishtha was born in Brahmana, the teachers, the religious ones, the ones who aspire for Brahmagyan. So he was born in the Brahman family. By birth he was Brahmin. By birth Vishwamitra was a Kshatriya, a king. Now Vishwamitra attained Brahmagyan, or the ultimate wisdom, and he was Brahmarshi. That is why he was referred to as Brahmarshi, a rishi who has known Brahman. Vishwamitra also tried. He did all sort of austerity. He continued to work on this aspect of Vairāgya and Abhyasa and Vairāgya and Abhyasa. But his Vairāgya was not complete. Why? Because he always felt that he is doing something very great. And therefore his ego towards his own capacities and caliber was very high. He thought that I am somebody born as a king, doing austerity, doing tapa, doing abhyasa, doing yoga, doing meditation and all, and I should be recognized as Brahmarshi because I know what Brahman is. Okay. See, and by the way, he knew what Brahman is. For sure he knew. But only because there was the lack of Vairāgya for his own image, for his own so-called Purushartha or own Samarthya and own, story of life, everybody accepted Vishwamitra to be Brahmarshi. But Vasishtha did not. Whenever Vasishtha will come across Vishwamitra will come across Vasishtha, he will always say, hello Rajarshi. Rajarshi means you are still a king and you have become Rishi. You are not Brahmarshi yet. You don't know what Brahman is. He will always say. And this actually created lot of fury, lot of unrest, lot of anger in Vishwamitra. He decided that everybody in this world has accepted me as Brahmarshi. If I just get rid of this guy, you see, Vasishtha, who thinks that he's a Brahmarshi, and I'll try to disturb him, I'll try to pull him down. And what he did, you know what? He started killing his sons by and by. Vasishtha was not deterred. He was as usual, Vairāgya, I'm just telling you. He was Vairāgya. He was not deterred. One day, Vishwamitra thought that he is not showing any sort of unrest. I will kill him. I will kill Vasishtha. And in the meantime, the husband and wife, Vasishtha and his wife, used to just discuss. And Vishwamitra was standing with the sword at the door of that cottage in which they were living. And he overheard what these couples were talking. The wife was also a realized woman. She was not anyways sad or suffering by the death of her own children. She was just discussing about what is the current state. The current state is Vishwamitra is not satisfied. He is killing, going on killing. And just like a little motherly care, he said, everybody has accepted. Baba, why don't you accept? Just tell him he is Brahmarshi. And what Vasishtha says? Vasishtha says, he is Brahmarshi already. I know that. But he has this little ego and jealousy in him. And how can I just let him go with these two qualities? He is Brahmarshi. And such a statement coming from Vasishtha, whose so many sons Vishwamitra had killed, and he was ready to kill this Vasishtha also, he immediately dropped his swords and rushed into the kuti, fell upon the feet of Vasishtha and says, Pahimam, Traimam, I am so much ashamed. And then it is, what was the response of Vasishtha? He just pulled him up and hugged him and says, Utho Brahmarshi. You see? See, this is what it is. Par-Vairāgya and the little gap in the vaśīkāraḥ Vairāgya. It does not mean that a person who is in vaśīkāraḥ Vairāgya will not know the truth, but he will still suffer. Still suffer the jealousy, the ego, the pride, and all that. And if you are suffering, what kind of Brahmarshi you are? What kind of Brahmagyan you are having? Understand what it means? So putting yourself to practice, arriving at Vairāgya, applying that Vairāgya back into practice will spiral your journey up in the direction where it will take you. When that critical mass arises, you will start having the glimpse of the truth. But that does not mean your abhyasas will stop, because so many things are still to be worked on. Look at the journey of Vishwamitra. You see? Maybe everything is settled, but तुम्हारा सास बहू का झगड़ा नहीं settle हुआ. Maybe everything is settled, but पति पत्नी का धोखा नहीं settle हुआ. Maybe everything is settled, but so many things in life, so many points in life which you may have not settled yet. Right? So it means you have to be free from everything. Every single stain, every single impression which can disturb you should be dealt with complete dispassion. That is what is vaśīkāraḥ, from minutest to the biggest. All right. So thank you so much for your patience.